Welcome. We have the coffee cup. We may proceed. Okay. Hello, everyone. Michael DePaul. Edwin, hello. Miss Grandma. How's everybody doing? I got a new camera. Well, not a new. Luckily, my web camera was in one of the boxes that we brought, so we'd have some electronics. So we have a clearer picture today because I don't know why the camera on this laptop has gone cloudy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was wrong. Mark Carney called an election today. And here we go. April 28th, the end of Canada. And you can see the comment I have up there. So if a fellow Canadian wants to come up and chat about the election and the current situation, I'll bring you up. And again, if you don't want to show your face just when you join StreamYard, just make sure to turn the camera off and just have the microphone on. Yeah, it's here we go. That's it. I really think, hey Chinook. It really depends how long-term the cabal's plans are. I don't think they're long-term anymore. Trump is in office. Trump is doing everything he's doing in the States. Hey, David, everything he's doing in the States, right? And you know about Doge and everything he promised. They tried to kill the man. He got hit in the ear. He actually got touched by a bullet. It's one thing, the other threats that were on him. And people have tried to kill Donald Trump long before he became president. It's been famous for a long time, okay? He's been rich for a long time. That's why he has his own security people. That's why he has his own intelligence people. But when they did that, they brought it home in a way that you can only have reality brought home when you actually feel what it's like when a bullet hits you. Or when something happens that you know your life is in danger, like immediate, this is it, danger. Hello, Ann Creighton. And when they did that to Donald Trump, the gloves are off. He was going to do everything he's doing now, but I think he still intended on having a slighter, softer approach. Not as soft as in the first term, but again, the first term, right? But now, no. And the cabal know that. And they absolutely have to get complete control of Canada. They have to, I mean, they do have it, but just bear with me. They have to get everything out of Canada they can. They have to make sure that Canada is only dealing with anybody but the United States. They want the United States out of NATO. Now that the money's not coming in, they want them out. And they want Canada to be full bore, economically especially, and they will put up a draft and they will go into the Ukraine. That's what these assholes want. Hey, Grace. And so this is going to go one of two ways as far as the Canadian election, as far as I can see it. Way number one, the Liberals, through the voting machines and the loaded ballot boxes, are going to get a majority government, and they are going to go the pedal to the metal compared to what they did with when Trudeau was in office. Okay? They're just going to do it. Choice number two, they put Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives in power, give them a slight majority, let them start doing things. The Senate will let a few things pass here and a few things pass there. They'll do what they can to vote some shit out. Yes, the carbon tax will go. Yes, the GST is going to change. That is the goods and services tax. I call it the gotcha sucker tax. They'll do all kinds of stuff like that. Now, all of our gun laws in Canada, all of them came from an order in council. None of them came from Parliament. And there is a massive push in the base of the Conservatives. And believe it or not, and they don't like to admit it, there's a shit ton of Liberals and New Democrats who have guns and want to be able to use them. Okay? They just don't live in the cities. In the cities, there's a lot of people that like to go target shooting or do go hunting or just want to be able to protect their ass because the two gangs, one on that side of the house, one on that side of the house, all have guns. Okay? So, I know this for a fact. There are organized groups that are quiet in the public, but are strong, and they're law-abiding citizens, and they have sent an emissary to Pierre Poilievre and to the Liberals and to each premier of each province and territory, and the message is fix the gun laws, do it now, no more bullshit. We've had enough. That was one thing in there, but that's a big one in there. And they, this woke bullshit's got to go. And so, again, I was just watching a live space on Twitter, X, with Curtis Stone again today. And he puts it really well. The difference between the four federal parties in Canada is just varying degrees of wokeness. And the Conservatives in the past 15 years, but 10 for sure, have sided with woke and bowed down, completely bowed down to it. And that goes with LGBTQ plus and who can go into what bathroom and on and on and on and on and on. Okay. So I can see the election being fixed so that the Conservatives get a slight majority. I don't think they're going to give them a minority government because they know that the other parties are just too frickin' bloodthirsty, and they'll do what they did to, I'll think of Joe Clark in 1979, and just vote him out, put the Liberals back in. Times were different then, but they did it to Harper in 2010. He had a minority government, but he was working with the other parties. They were getting things done, or they were making it look like they were. Things looked okay. And the Liberals and the NDP and the Bloc just couldn't help themselves. And for a bullshit reason, they voted down the government, non-confidence vote. And the election went to the polls, and the Conservatives had a massive majority. But, hello, Melinda. Hello. And what happened was, again, Harper knew his base wanted the gun laws changed. All the orders and councils gone, actual laws brought in where we actually have rights and we can actually use things because we're law abiding and we've gone through the process to actually get a license and yada, yada, yada. Okay? and he didn't do it. And in those days, he had the Senate. The Senate would have backed him up because of public opinion. We don't have that now. And so I think it's very likely they'll bring in a conservative government under Pierre Poilievre. They'll only let him do so many things because they'll give him a couple things. He'll get the GST right away. He'll get the carbon tax right away. I doubt they'll let him do much on gun laws. He'll get to take out all the bullshit things that have happened since Portapique in 2020. All the bans on the various guns that were made prohibited, which it makes no sense to do this. He might get that one. But again, he can do that with an order in council because those were order in council. So he doesn't need the Senate for that one. He doesn't need the Senate for any of the gun laws. He can bring forth new gun laws. He can kill all the old ones and write a new order in council, and there's nothing they can do about it. And the governor general has to approve it. But if they put in Poilievre, he'll get rid of Mary Simon, and he'll bring somebody in that's going to do what he wants. And yeah, hang on. Little afternoon coffee. Okay. It's a light coffee. It's not a heavy one. Not a and so that's what I see happening. It's going to be one of the two. And it really depends. Here's the thing. They can put Poilievre in place and appease the West. That's the only reason they would put Poilievre in place, is to appease the West. There's enough people in Alberta and Saskatchewan and northern BC who, if they get Poilievre in, there's enough of them that'll go, oh, everything's okay now. Oh, thank God, everything's okay. And we'll probably still have enough for Alberta separation, but the drive won't be there. The reasons won't be there. And the backup won't be there. They put in the Liberals, whether it's a minority government or a majority government, and I can tell you right now, Alberta will be its own country by Thanksgiving. It'll just happen. Cage, do you have a Privy Council in Canada? Yes, but our Privy Council does not work the way yours does. Ours is appointed by the Prime Minister. So again, the people who are the boss of the Prime Minister are appointed by the Prime Minister, so he's their boss. Governor General, Privy Council, all just a happy, happy, joy club. So, and Charles doesn't do a thing, never steps in. The Queen never did. So the King really doesn't mean anything here, but anyway. The mayor of the City of London, the owner of all corporations everywhere in the world, has more to do than Charles and the monarchy ever could or would. It's just that, again, just like the Black Pope, you don't know who they are. You'll never hear from them. And that's the way it goes. So we've got 33 people in on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm just going through everything here. So if anybody wants to come up, and I guess it doesn't have to be Canadian. If you want to come up and just chat about what's going on, and like Anne Creighton's in Ireland, so Northern Ireland, so that's United Kingdom. So if hey Tug, how you doing? And I know most of my audience is Americans, and a lot of you do know what's going on because you do stay informed. So here's the link, and remember, if you don't want to show your face on the stream, just hide your camera. Just turn your camera off. and I'll bring you up. I'm not sharing tabs today. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going to be talking about what's coming up. The PPC is going to get a lot more votes this time. The People's Party of Canada is going to get a lot more votes. A lot. They might even get 1 or 2 seats. But even in the PPC, and even a lot of them don't like Maxime Bernier. There's a lot of people that don't like him. All their newcomers do, because that's how they get people. Again, I was listening to a couple people today who were part of the PPC when it first started, and they thought then that Max was the wrong leader for the party. But when you start it, it's yours, right? And then he never did bring in an election because he would have got voted out. They would have put somebody else in. But the People's Party of Canada would, if they actually did the right things and became an actual political party and got party status, and brought in a leader that the West actually wants to, and by the way, the Maritimes as well, and the Northwest Territories and the Yukon, most of those people feel the same way about Max Bernier. They don't like him. They don't trust him. They don't want to have to listen to him. And they don't think he's the right guy for the job. And so if they did something about that, which they won't, but if the PPC did something about that, they'd have a chance. I believe some separatist parties are going to show up for this election. They probably won't have. They probably won't be able to get on stage for the leadership debate because, again, the corrupt government and the corrupt system, they're changing the rules for all these debates and everything else. So again, they're making it just like the leadership race in the Liberal Party. They're making it so only the people they want there are there. So that's that you're going to see that. But I believe we're going to see something come out of the West for this election. I'm not part of anything. There's rumblings, but I just think so. I really think that Western separatism is, the vertigo thing and all that is still pretty heavy duty. Doing my best, folks. I believe that Western separation is going to come up quite a bit in the election, probably in the leadership debate. And they're just going to shoot it down like it's oh ho ho, and that's not real and no way. I mean, people love Canada. They're going to play that game, right? If Pierre Poilievre, which again, he's getting his instructions from up high. Okay, that's why he's changed his tune. That's why he's rah rah Ukraine, rah rah rah, and that's why he's against Trump and going to fight the tariffs with tariffs and all this bullshit. If he would have been half the man anybody thought he was, and stuck to his guns and went hardline conservative, it'd be no question who would win this election. Because I believe, and again, this is from seeing comments on X and watching different shows and listening to live streams, and I believe even in Montreal and Toronto, which is where the election is won, basically, right? And all their suburbs, right? Montreal and all the suburbs, and Toronto and all the suburbs, right? And that's where the election is won. The Maritimes helps, but in those communities, there's still a lot of people who want to see change. They don't like what they've seen for the last 10 years. And if somebody gave them a new choice and said, okay, the conservatives are going to fix a lot of these crazy things and a lot of these things that are hurting our pocketbook, they would vote conservative. And the polls showed that. Now, again, can you believe the polls? Even the ones for the last few months that were saying, oh my goodness, look at the conservatives. Yeah. So, but now, just because they have Carney in place and all of a sudden it's a liberal majority again, that tells me that the ballot boxes are already preloaded and the voting machines have been programmed. That's what that tells me. Yeah. And again, like I was saying in my show yesterday, if the liberals win, which I think it's better than 50-50, the liberals are going to win because of Trump. Because the United States is the biggest danger it's ever been, ever now. Because all their free money is gone. All their bank accounts for all their bullshit is gone. I always wondered where George Soros got his money from. I knew he wasn't as rich because, hey, dirty sausage. Soros was funding all these things all over the world, but he was only worth $2.5 billion himself, and he'd put out like $4 billion a year. And it's like, well, that's not his money. Now we know it was USAID. Hang on, I'm going to read your comment, Chinook. Just give me a sec. And it was USAID. And there's two other big programs that Trump has shut down, and all these other services that, again, the Board of Education was funneling money off to bullshit. They weren't using it on education. Okay. There's other departments that were doing this. That's where all the money was going. And so the piggy bank is empty. And the NATO members know it. The UN knows it. The World Health Organization knows it. Okay? And so now the rest of the NATO members are talking about stealing the money out of the bank accounts of their citizens to fund a war against the Ukraine because the U.S. is gone and they want them gone. They want to talk Trump. They want to give him lots of reason to pull out of NATO. They do. Because I think in their minds, once they can start a world war with Russia and get things going, and then China is going to turn on Russia because China wants the world. Their biggest adversaries are the United States and Russia. Russia's right there. If Europe attacks, hey, let's join in. Then once that happens, they can start a second war against the United States. They can declare war on the United States because, rainbows and purple bunnies. Doge is the best thing ever. Yep. Hello, Brock. I think that's the first time I'm seeing you here, so welcome. So Chinook Preparedness, do you really think Pierre could have taken any stance other than an adversarial stance against Trump without getting ripped to shreds by the other parties and media? That's my whole point. That's what he should have done. He should have done that and gone against the liberals and gone against the NDP and gone against the media and let them attack. Because for the last few years, the world has been shown how ridiculous they are going after Trump the way they did and still are in most cases. And the rest of the world is seeing it. And definitely most of America is seeing it. The squeaky wheels get the grease, so they still make you think there's this big thing, but it's not. Hey, conservative cowboy. And Yes, I think that's what he should have done. He should have absolutely just dug his heels in, gone full conservative, and fought them on everything. Let them bring it up on the news every night. Force them to only give like 2 seconds of the 10 minutes he says when they interview him. And the media shows that. And then everybody else on social media gets his whole speech or they get the whole interview. And show them how ridiculous it is. Because again, that's how you would have absolutely taken the votes away from them in Halifax and Montreal and Toronto, and to a certain extent, Quebec City. The deep state was in on the killing of JFK. They're still at it today. Well, exactly, Brock. Exactly. That you know, Hillary Clinton's not the only one with her own team. You know, um, no, they're still at it today. They're okay. So I was told of something today, and I knew about this kind of thing, but and again, I have said what I think of Danielle Smith, but there are people in the um, United Conservative Party here in Alberta, which that's her political party, and she helped forming it by screwing over the Wild Rose Party, which she was the leader of, screwing us badly when we were going to win. Wild Rose was going to take over Alberta in 2015. And she made sure that wouldn't happen. And then she went on a radio show, and then she suddenly is our premier again. Okay. But she has been caught screwing up and showing who she is. And she actually told one of her top people in her party that because he said, look, I see, he's like, look, we're going to have to, call you out and have another vote and get this sorted out. And she said, I've got the power, I've got the connections, I'll have you arrested, I'll ruin you, I'll ruin your family, I'll ruin your business, blah blah blah. And she was able to name drop and prove her point, uh, like the globalists love to do. And so that's who she is, and I've known that for a while. After when she crossed the floor in 2014, she brought her and 13 of her Wild Rose members all got big paychecks. Most of them did not get voted in again. She didn't. She lost her seat. But then there was, I was able to talk to some people back then. I was still connected back then. I was still talking to the boys from Intel in our secret little places we go to talk. I was still doing all that back then. I was still in tune what was going on. I could still find things out. I could still, dig around. And she didn't have a whole lot of dirt on her then. Nothing major. Okay. And boy, she started a new list for herself after that. But the biggest thing is the money. Always follow the money. So some people followed the money. Normal White, hey Cage, much love everyone listening in. Can I wash all these clowns down the drain when I pull the plug? Yeah, we're rough shape. We don't have anyone worth our vote. That's right. Yes, Brock, I do follow Viva Fry. I do. Um, I've been trying lately since I've got more time and I'm doing this again a little bit. Because I was so silent for so long on YouTube and all these other channels. And um, So there's a lot of these big name people like David Creighton and Viva Fry and Curtis Stone and Frank Vaughn, Marty Up North. Now, some of these people I've had contact with before. Some of them I haven't. T-Saw says, hi, Stella.
Yeah, I saw.
She's got her phone shut off so that we get good reception because it's bad. Anyway, my point is a lot of these people, like even Curtis and a couple other people in these live spaces on X, won't bring me onto their panels. They won't. They rarely return emails. They don't acknowledge my comments hardly ever. So whatever, because I don't have a blue check mark and I don't have 1 million followers or even 100,000. But anyways, I've been trying to get people to come on to chat and it's not happening. So anyway, Brock, are you Canadian? Just let me know. Again, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you, so welcome. And Conservative Cowboy, how you doing? Trump has endorsed Liberal Party candidate in elections, and I believe it was for help in the separatist movement in Alberta and the western part of Canada, even the north, like BC, northern BC. Yeah. Oh, you are on. I am the Yoda is here. I thought she had her phone shut off, but I hear a clicking behind me, and now she's yakking at people. Anyway, well, okay. Here's the thing, Conservative Cowboy. That is possible. I honestly, when I see his reactions, especially 2 times in the Oval Office, and the interview with the lady off Fox News, when he said, "I don't care," and just the way he said it, and I can read his body language. He's like, "I don't care." He has his focus. He knows what he wants to do, and he doesn't care what it takes to get it, and he doesn't care who wins the election up here, because he's going to crush us no matter what. Like our government, whoever it is, he doesn't care. He's going to crush them. End of story. That's the way it is. That's how it's going to go down. And he didn't endorse Mark Carney. He just said he'd rather deal with him than Polyev. Because again, remember, Trump has one of the biggest intel resources in the world, and very, 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 very deep in Canada, what they can find out and who they can talk to and what they know. So he knows who Polyev is too. I think if Polyev, like I said, would have dug in his heels and fought back against the bullshit and been a real conservative, I think things would be different. But remember, like a bunch of them were saying today, and Frank Vaughn has said it before, these idiots in Canada that become leaders of these parties, they all do it. They'll put on an Indian headdress. They'll put on a beanie of the Israelites. They'll put on a turban. You know, they'll go into the Sikh temple. They'll go into the Muslim temple. They'll go to the First Nations. They'll wear their garb and bow down to them and praise them and, oh, we're going to do this for you and blah, blah, blah. And then they'll kick people out of their party in a riding where there's, 90% conservative white people, but they'll kick the conservative white guy out of their caucus and put a turban or a native to run in that riding to appease, the 30 people that they want to appease. That person will still win because they're a conservative. That's how fucked we are in Canada. In the States, in the presidential elections, and correct me, Americans, if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty good on history. Have we seen a presidential candidate go into a native reserve or a mosque or whatever it may be and dress up like them and toodaloo and do a big news conference and all of that? They're usually just wearing their suit, or they're just dressing like a regular person, dresses casual with a, a sport jacket, or you don't see them putting on the garb that I remember. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you get stuff in your local news that I haven't caught, but you'll be back in 20. But you're right there. You're back there now. You haven't left.
No, I gotta shut up the phone.
Oh, you shut off the phone. Okay. Thank you. But in Canada, we've seen it for decades. It just drives you crazy. Ugh. Dale Bogut. Where's that bag at? Sorry, my eyes are kind of messed up. Just a sec. No, I can't reach it. Britain is just as bad for that kind of thing. Okay, yeah. They'll pander, right? It just drives me nuts. Okay, so nobody has hit the click to come talk, so that's okay.
Your link isn't in.
Yes, it is. The
in
link is.
YouTube chat. Oh, on my phone.
You won't see.
We may proceed.
Hang on, I got to shut the sound off on YouTube. Okay, I'm putting it in again. There it is.
Yeah.
Saskabush, late to the party again. Hey, Grandma. Okay, I'm going back to StreamYard. Yeah. So yeah, Saskabush Mom, I'll just give the rundown again. And again, we're halfway through the stream, so just let people catch up. Is that the same Carney in charge of Bank of England? Same guy, yeah. It's Mark Carney. He was the guy in charge of the Bank of England when Brexit happened and all the screwing over happened and your net zero and all these bullshit things and all your Sunak and all the crap that came in. Okay, that's the guy. The one that Liz Truss was only prime minister for 10 minutes. That's the guy. Yeah. A school here is canceling Easter in case they upset certain people. They do the same stupid shit in Canada. Canuckistan is no different. The squeaky wheels get the grease. Way it is. The problem is they're importing so many of them that there's more wheels to squeak. Okay, so the half-hour update I promised. So Saskabush Mama, yeah. So the election's been called, right? Carney actually did it. Called the election today, so I was wrong. It's okay. It's going to go one of two ways. Either because the ballot boxes and the voting machines have already been programmed. Okay, the ballot boxes are loaded, the voting machines are programmed. Whichever way the cabal wants this to go, it's going to go. So way number one, the Liberals get a majority or even a minority, and then the other assholes prop them up again. And they continue on with what they do. They accelerate because of what Trump is doing. And we're all in World War III by Christmas. Way number two, they don't want separatism in Alberta especially, but in the West, because they know they're fucked. Okay? So they will put in Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives to appease people out here. Like I was saying earlier, and you missed it, but I'll say it again, is that what'll happen is if Poilievre and the Conservatives win, there's too many people who right now are saying, okay, we're going to vote separatists. We're going to vote to leave. Alberta independence, Saskatchewan independence, Yukon independence. That'll happen. It'll be boom. It'll be that quick. Now, if they vote in Poilievre, a lot of those people are going to go, oh, it's okay. We're fine. Everything's good. Oh, good. I can turn Netflix back on and oh, it's spring now, so I can warm up the RV and and just go back to my happy life and ignore everything and think everything's fine. So I won't be surprised which way it goes. Yeah, Dale says she wanted him out when she was prime minister. Proves who's got more power, right? Well, again, I mean, you go back to the whole Liz Truss thing, and again, she's probably a bit of a globalist herself, or she wouldn't have got the job in the first place. If I remember correctly, the wokeness was strong with that one. But at the same time, yeah, they got rid of her pretty quick. And that means she wasn't going to play their game. If she was playing their game, she'd still be there. Or maybe they just wanted Richie Sunak. I mean, that's 100% true too, right? That could have been it. She might have been just in place long enough for them to put Sunak in. And you folks in the UK will know more details about that than me. Anne says the income is 20% of the population here in Ireland. We only have 5.5 million in the whole of Ireland. Yeah. Well, and again, that's what's going on here. They're trying to do it in Alberta. We're 4.5 million. They're trying to flood them in. Where the screw up is happening is that what they did is they screwed over the ones they sent here. They got them out here, gave them money, got them a house, got them jobs, and then next thing you know, you're off our dole. You're not our problem anymore. Good luck, carry on. That's how the Liberal government treated them. And then they all started getting fired because they couldn't do the job. And this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. And they started realizing, oh, shit, we got screwed. And then they find out, oh, these Albertan people really aren't that bad. So now they're all turning to be on our side. Well, not all of them, but enough. Anyways, hey, Greg Davis, how you doing? If number 2 happens, then Polyev has to go full make North America great again. Yeah. Well, and again, he's got to go. He has to now. Day one. He has to go full conservative. Just the way it is. And like I said, we know he's going to get rid of the wokeness. We know he's going to get rid of the laws that Trudeau put in, the catch and release, and a bunch of those things. We know he's going to go after criminals. How much they go after criminals and what they really do against the cartels and the triads and all that, we'll see. Remember so just I'll bring this up. The appointment of the fentanyl czar was done by Trudeau and the Liberal government, but his position is not a government position. It's a law enforcement position, basically, is what he was handed. Okay, so Kevin Broussard, we don't know what he's doing. Don't know. Okay. I haven't seen an interview. I haven't seen an update. I haven't seen him announcing an arrest. I haven't seen anything from this guy. So what's he actually doing? I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said, come on, people, let's at least give the guy a chance. No matter what, even though he's a crony, a Liberal crony, a Trudeau crony, at least give the guy a chance. He's got the resume. Let's see what he does. Haven't seen or heard anything from this guy. Okay. Not a thing. Is that going to come out during the election? They'll use it as an election ploy, maybe. But again, his point doesn't go away. His job doesn't go away. Both were WEF puppets, but I think she tried to actually do something. Yeah, I kind of think so too. Yeah, T-Saw, PP has no choice but to go full MAGA. He has to. He has to switch. And Ann says, yeah, Sunak was a Goldman Sachs guy. Yeah. Okay. So is Carney. But yeah. And like I said, another thing about Polyev that I know he has been told, and I know every premier in Canada has been told, change the gun laws, do it now. And I, again, and they can come after me if they want to, because they've got a bigger following. But the CCFR, I went to the annual general meeting a few years ago in Calgary, and I met everybody. Met a bunch of them. Ran into an old buddy from the military who's married to the lady that you see on the screen with what's his name? Can't remember names right now. I've got the bouncy heady thing going on. It'll come to me later probably. If you remember in chat, the guy that runs the CCFR, I can't remember. I can see his face. Talked to him many, many times. Years ago. I was in a support group when he was helping him with fight his cancer, and that worked out good. Thank God for that. But anyways, I confronted him and her and the CCFR on their numbers because since he took over, there's 2.2 million gun owners in Canada. And that was in like 2013, 12, 13, something like that. And I'm just like, wait a minute. There's over 2 million restricted owners in Canada, people with handgun license, etc. There's 2 million of those, but actual licenses, because I was a verifier, okay, an RCMP verifier. I still have my card here somewhere. It's an actual position with the RCMP, and you have all the paperwork and all the CDs. You have everything you need, all the books, and you can actually determine whether a gun is legal or not. You can actually inspect one that people made at home and give it a serial number and approve it, all that kind of shit. Okay, and along with that, you know all the numbers of the whole system and everything else that's going on. And when I started doing that in 2008, there was over 8 million registered gun owners in Canada. And of that, 2 million had restricted licenses. Because we basically have three licenses in Canada. There is your purchase and acquisition license. And then there is your restricted purchase and acquisition license. And then there is your prohibited purchase and acquisition license. And that just, if you have prohib, you can get anything. And if you have restricted, you can only get restricted and non-restricted. If you just have a PAL, you can only get, So anyways, but I knew the numbers then. So I am confronted on them. I'm like, what are you doing here? Why do you, all your videos in the news, when you do interviews on TV, whatever it may be, even tonight when you did the speech, and you keep saying 2.2.5 million gun owners in Canada. I said there was 8 million in 2008, and people have been getting licenses every year. Now we're in 2025, and people have been getting licenses every year. My only thing is, how many people don't have their license? Especially us veterans. Ex-RCMP and ex-military, they do everything they can to not give you your license back or take it away from you or whatever. That's all under this bullshit since Trudeau got in, but it started with Harper. Like I said, that CCFR thing in 2012, that was still Harper. So, yeah. So all these lobby groups and everything else. But I can tell you this right now, Pierre Poilievre has been told, change the gun laws. Just get it done. Give us our freedom back. That's it. Because if you don't, we know it's the UN. We know it's the cabal. We know it's NATO. We know it's all the other assholes. Okay? We know that. We know it now. But you either do it or you don't do it. Wayne Sanford, give us the right check mark. Hello. I think that's the first time I've seen your name in here as well. Thank you. Don't need no stinking license. Yes, badges. We don't need no stinking badges. T-Saw, huh? Too many brain dead Easterners are Orange Man bad, delusional. Trump isn't a good PP talking point right now. Yeah, Again, T-Saw, he's got to just turn it. He's got to just say fuck it and turn it around. Again, I just honestly believe that there's so many people, even in those big cities, and the three big ones that really fuck us over every time is Halifax, Montreal, Quebec City, and I know I said three, but it's Halifax, Quebec City, Montreal, and Toronto. Those are the cities that fuck us on every election. But I really believe there's enough people in those cities and their surrounding areas that have had enough. They're sick and tired of this. They want to change. And a lot of them own guns or want to own guns, or a lot of them go hunting, or they look, you can't even be oh, and again, the damn name is, I'm sorry, I'm a fucking member. IPSC. You can't even do IPSC in Canada anymore properly. Can't do 3 guns. You can't do even a lot of the long range stuff and the shotgun stuff. They're taking most of it away. Like, it's just ultra stupidly ridiculous, the bullshit. And so, again, what we need to do is just flip the script 100% on that issue. Get boys out of girls' bathrooms and vice versa. Take the rainbow bullshit off the crosswalks. Put the fucking immigrants in their place. And sorry, folks, true story. And I never used to have this opinion. But my God, since Trudeau took over and opened up Roxham Road. So get rid of wokeness, get rid of DEI, get rid of bullshit. Stop stealing our money left, right, and center. Stop giving our money away to everybody else in the world instead of fixing shit here. And give us our gun rates and do it now. Fuck them all. Don't care anymore. Tug, you know I am American and I followed you for years. I hope this BS between our governments doesn't spill over to their citizens. I have nothing but respect for the Canadian people. Thank you. Wayne says, don't fuck with my dogs, I'll get pissed. Yes, thank you, Tug. And exactly, yeah. And that's the thing. When when it goes to the people, when the people actually get to talk to each other, all this other bullshit disappears. I've been to foreign countries. I've been to the States a lot. When I was in Special Forces, I worked with the Americans more than I worked with other Canadians. It's the way it is, okay? The other thing is growing up. I was surrounded, growing up, by English and Scottish and Irish, Ukrainians and Russians and Germans. We got along. You would go to a wedding and it would be and Chinese people. There was a few of them. They had a restaurant, you know. Sorry to be stereotypical, but they had the restaurant, the small little hotel, and the laundromat. But they were in our community. We went to school with their kids. There was no difference between their kids and us. And it was the same with everybody else. You went to a wedding, there was Ukrainian food, German food, Russian food, Western food, Chinese food, Italian food. I forgot the Italian. Sorry, folks. Greeks. I mean, they're all there. It was there. It was everything. And that was northern Alberta, like fuck nowhere in northern Alberta. So no, it's not the people. In the 90s, after the walls fell and Russia became Russia again instead of the USSR, and they were applying to join NATO. And Poland was applying to join NATO. And so the politicians got together and the militaries got together. And again, I met a bunch of these guys. And especially with the Polish, because Polish and Russian, but mostly the Polish, because the deep water shit I did was Poland. But well, it was Russia too. But anyway, but the thing is, you know, a few years before that, we're enemies. Now we're hanging out, smoking cigars, drinking each other's alcohol, and shooting blanks at each other in the day. And we got along gangbusters. We had a blast. Once the initial animosity got out of the way, because it was no way it wasn't going to show up. And sometimes after too much vodka, you might have actually thrown a punch. But again, we got along great. That's my point. So it's only the dirty pricks and the assholes that think they own the place. Johnny Highwoods, hello. The Norwegians, yep, all of it. Bush, Mama, I honestly believe it doesn't matter about the election. Even if there ends up being an election, Trump is coming to free us either way. Well, again, Gma, here's the thing, yeah. Okay, look, again, I've known, I knew what Nasara Jasara was a long time ago. I know about the corporations. I know about all these, U.S. and Canada and Britain and who owes money to who and where things actually go and who runs the show and how the corporations work and all that. And that could happen. But the way they're going about it, they're making it a harder and harder sell to the normal people day after day. If they would ease everybody into this and explain it to them and show them stuff, then things would change. But they're not doing it. Now, just a second here. I need to. I just remembered something. This was brought up in Curtis Stone's chat today. I haven't had a chance to confirm it. So I'm going to go looking right now. I'm not screen sharing yet unless I find something. But for those of you in Canada who know, and remember, I showed the damn thing, and I've sent all the links out. The myth is Canada, and Canada, the myth, and all that. Well, I was told today, and again, I'm not making an announcement. As far as I know, it's rumor. But I'm going to look it up right now. But apparently, from what I was told today, Doug Force passed away. Now, when I met Doug, the times I met him and spent and hung out with him and did stuff and things, he was fighting health issues like most people, and then some of his were some more serious. But that's a few years ago now, and I was told he passed away. So I'm looking it up. Oh, of course, everything comes up. Doug Ford, Doug Ford, Doug Ford. Honey, look it up. Doug Force, not Doug Ford. Doug Force, and everybody else who actually gets to surf the internet, unlike me, you're not blocked the way I am. Please look it up. Doug Force. Because I should do a screen share right now.
Teacher of the myth is Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. He's on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Forced Online, Doug Force.
Yeah, that's another one of his websites.
That's YouTube.
Or okay.
How to do it yourself repair videos.
Okay, so I'm just looking up. But anyways, here I'm going to check chat again. Just give me a sec.
Studied at Lewis and Clark Graduate School of Education and
Yeah.
Counseling.
Okay, there's no announcement on the website that I see, but if it just happened, and I don't know if, again, there was a bunch of people that he had given permission to help, and they were moderators and stuff. And
yeah, he's on Facebook.
So I'm going to look on X to see if there's news.
Looking Glass Media, LGM.news.
Oh, wow. I'm getting a lot of likes on X. Okay. Holy. Okay. So I will search X.
Chief Financial Financial officer, self-employed, August 22 to December 22.
Yeah. He again, a bunch of Doug Ford shit comes up on X. When I search Doug Force. God, I hate this fucking internet. I can't wait, folks, until I can afford to get new computers and get Starlink and not have this and start over again instead of getting fucked over the way I am now. Okay, no, there's nothing. I don't see anything.
Canada, the illusion.
Yeah. But not finding anything that gives news on his current situation. I guess I could pull my... No, I can't. The old phone is in storage. If I could pull out the old phone, I could pull out his number and call him. But or send a text or whatever. Is Doug Force a content creator? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the myth is Canada.
He's the one that wrote the Mrs. Canada. He's the one that did all of the research to find the Magna Carta, find the British North America Act, find the Articles of Confederation, find all of those things, and then find out that none of them are real. And everything else. Hey, Dorinda. Yeah, how you doing? Trade the election without the damn machine. No, it'll be machines. It's already been... people have already done the... looking at that... it's going to be Dominion voting machines. So, like I said, whichever way they want this to go, the ballot boxes are already preloaded. The machines are pre-programmed. However they want this to go, that's how it's going to go. The liberal leadership race was Dominion voting machines. Ross Bell, hey, doesn't England have a lot to say about what happens in Canada? Well, yes and no. We still have King Charles, but he doesn't do anything. He doesn't say anything. But all of the other people that have any kind of title, like the Governor General and the Privy Council, who are supposed to be the ones that report to the king, they actually don't ever talk to him. They're appointed by the Prime Minister. So when Polyev comes in, he'll appoint new ones. They're all part of the Uniparty. They all play the same fiddle. It's just who's going to get the pressure on them to do anything. Yeah, 72 countries had their elections manipulated. We know that. And Dominion voting systems is Canada. And Trudeau Foundation has a lot to do with it. True story. Hey, River, how you doing? Riverway. Same. Yeah, true story. So there we go, folks. That's the hour. Again, I was wrong. The election has been called. And what are they going to try and get away with during this massive distraction? Never thought of that, but just thought of it. But what kind of bullshit are they going to pull? Because remember, all the bureaucrats are in place. The ministries are in place. The bosses leave. The minister of leaves. The deputy minister of leaves. But everybody under that, all the CEOs and managers, they're still there. So what are they going to do? Yeah. So anyways, thank you, folks. And we'll keep plugging away. All right. Cheers.